What's going down, y'all? It's the Wake Up Crew here to talk some NBA prop bets over on PrizePicks for this Game 4 NBA Finals matchup between the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics. Boston blew them out, ended up blowing them out. I think it was 116 to 100 at home. Their first game at home. They lead the series 2-1 in the series. Jay, just as I'm watching, all I see is how young and youthful and lengthy this Boston team is. And it's going to take, it's going to take all hands on deck for Golden State. They've been so dominant for so long, Jay. You can just tell, they're just an older team. They're not as athletic. They're not as fast. They don't have the size. Everything that you're looking for, on a team, like Boston has it. They've got shooters. They've got physicality inside. They're younger. They're more athletic. They just look younger. They look like a younger team than Golden State. But when you get, we talked about Klay Thompson not taking the under last game. He gets hot. They're going to need Thompson. They're going to need Curry. Draymond's going to have to play better. Everything has to go right, in my opinion, for Golden State to win this series. And when you're talking about the bets that we talked about last game, Jay, we were 3 for 4. We almost clean swept.
Yep.
Swept. We almost clean sweep on the picks last game. We were 3 for 4. The only one that didn't hit was Draymond Green's turnovers. I believe he had 2, and we took the over at 2.5. But everything else that we discussed on the channel hit. It was a good, and even some plays that we talked about. Al Horford. We talked about the engine that we use now, mySparry.com. We said Sparry loved the Al Horford fantasy score. He smashed his over. Marcus Smart had 3 rebounds in the first damn quarter. He hit. We talked about the three-point props. I was like, Jay, I want all these guys. All of them hit. Tatum, Curry, Jaylen Brown. Everything that we discussed in the last video hit. So we went back to the model. We got Sparry up. We got props.cash. We got PrizePicks. We got props. Let's get into it right now, baby.
For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money, the NBA props. No look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by PrizePicks, NBA props. Let's
count that money, man. All right, Jay, so let's pull up the board. And, of course, Jason Tatum. We won't forget the taco today. I'm going to take the over half a points. It's free square. I think you can only bet up to $25 on this one, so we mix and match. Of course, Jason Tatum over half a point. Take that, lock that in. We'll leave it up there, but that's a given. So I'll start it out. I'm going right back to the three-point props. And Jason Tatum, I want the over 3 points, 3 three-point attempts made. I know he had 3 last game, 6-1, 4-4. I like Tatum, Jay, and I'm just going to pull it up right now. I like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Take whichever one you want. Let's go just look at what these guys have done as far as attempts in the three-point category. Jaylen Brown, the book line is at 2.5. So, Jay, just strategy-wise, when I see this, I don't like it. When the PrizePick line is higher than the book line, I just don't like it. But you see, it's juiced to the over. So if he goes over 2.5, he's got to hit 3 to push. But Jaylen Brown, three-point attempted, 8, 9, and 8. And then if you go Jason Tatum and look at his three-point shots attempted, 5, 9, and 9. As long as you're chucking up threes, this is what I want. And the book line for Tatum is 3.5, juice to the under. I like both of these three-point props for Brown and Tatum. If I had to pick one or the other, Jaylen Brown's been so aggressive, Jay, so aggressive early on, kind of hunting Draymond Green. I like the over on Jaylen Brown and the over on Jason Tatum's three-pointers, but since we have Tatum up with a half a point, I would take that off. But I like both of these three-point plays for both of these players.
Yeah, so if I was picking one, I would pick Tatum as my main guy at 3 threes. I just think he's a better three-point shooter than Brown. We saw Brown get hot last game, but I think that overall Tatum's a higher volume three-point shooter and a better three-point shooter overall. We know if Tatum gets hot, he can hit 6, 7. I don't think we can say the same for Brown. And then you talk about the three-point props. It's hard to ignore Steph Curry at 4.5. Ray, I don't know if you saw this, but Steph Curry's over 4.5 three-pointers made. It's minus 130 on the books. And the past 2 games, it's been the most bet on player prop, period, on sports books in the finals. It's the most bet on prop in the finals. Steph Curry to go over 4.5 threes, -130. And you can see he's gone over every game.
Yeah. And
It's
then look at
interesting to
this, Jay.
think about.
The attempts, right? Real quick.
Yeah.
14, 12, and 11. I mean, you just want Steph to go 50%, essentially. If he's shooting.
Which is still a lot, right? It's important to mention that. Like, he's shooting 50%, which is a lot. But, I mean, if there's anybody who can do it, it's Steph Curry at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's where, if you want to take the prop, like, again, people are betting on this a lot. If you want to go where the action's going, it's going on Steph Curry over 4.5 because he's hitting it every game. The books aren't moving it. And he's chucking up a ton of threes. On top of that, the desperation, knowing they need to get a win. I don't hate it overall. And then I know even in the comments of the video, people talked about Wiggins over 1.5 threes. I don't hate that one either. You talk about how you see Wiggins bricking threes left and right. He's gone over 2. He went over 2 in the first 2, or he hit 2 in the first 2 games. Only hit 1 in the last game. I believe he was 1 for 5. Hit 1 late actually to go over on his point prop. I don't hate it. I think it's a good spot. They're going to have to chuck. They need scoring from somewhere. Is it going to come from Clay again? I don't know. But one of the props I am looking at, though, if you want to maybe go away from Tatum's threes, I'm looking at his rebounds and assists. And one of the reasons why I really want to talk about the rebounds and assists is because I can't predict which one he's going to hit in and over every game. So you look at his consistency in rebounding and assists, it's kind of all over the place. But if you look at the rebounds and assists, it's surprisingly consistent because usually he hits one or the other, and trying to predict that is very difficult. But now PrizePicks is giving us those rebounds and assist numbers. You see he's hit it in 7 of his last 10 games and 2 of 3 in this series. I do like this one because you don't have to predict whether it's going to be the rebounds that cash or the assists. You go for both. You pray that he has 9 assists in a game. That way he only needs 4 rebounds, and we know that Tatum is good for 4 rebounds. This is a very good line, in my opinion, at 12.5. You see it's juiced to the over at -130. Ray, do you like this line, knowing that Tatum's been getting the assists and he can get the rebounds in kind of a more takeover game in game 4? Do you like this number for Tatum?
Yeah, 13, 3, and 9. The books have it at 5.5 with heavy juice to the over for his assists. Rebounds, 6.5, and it is juice to the over. I think this is a good bet. I think it's a smart bet. I think it's a good bet. I think I'm kind of in on this, Jay. I like this a lot for Jason Tatum. So we'll take out the 3-pointers and replace that with the rebounds and assists. I can get down with that. I can get down with that. If that's the move, if we're gonna go with a 3-point prop, I still think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are gonna chuck up enough to get there. But maybe Steph Curry's the better play at 4.5. What's the books have Curry's 3-pointers at? I think we looked at it. I think it's juiced to the -130 to the over. Maybe that's the better play, is Steph Curry over 4.5 threes and Jason Tatum over 12.5 rebounds and assists. I could rock with that, but I do still like both of these. I like a lot of these 3-point props. I like Brown, I like Tatum, I like Curry. But maybe that is the better play of going Steph over threes, Jason Tatum over 12.5 rebounds and assists. I want to go talk about what Sparry, mysparry.com, the projection model has. Looks like sort of the highest sort of projection over the prop on the slate tonight. And it's Andrew Wiggins points, rebounds, and assists. And let's talk through this one. At 24.5, Jay. 24.5, our model has him for 28.2, spitting out an over for Andrew Wiggins. You see in this series, he's hit this number in 2 games. And this June 5th game versus Boston, he had 19. He didn't play like the whole 4th quarter because they were blowing out Boston, so he was well on his way to clearing this number. He's averaging 24 over his last 5. So let's just see where the money is on Andrew Wiggins over his points, rebounds, and assists number. Let's just see. Juice to the over. -125 to the over. He's hitting 7 out of his last 10 games. Hit this number like we talked about, 2 of his last 3. He's averaging 26.5 versus Boston and 24 over his last 5. What are your thoughts on Wiggins? I know, and again, this is what we're talking about tonight, Jay. I think PrizePicks is trying to make some money back because every prop they give us, it's higher than the book line, right? The book line on Wiggins is 23.5. So right there, I don't like starting off in the hole. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I'm glad you pointed that out, right? The book line is 23.5 for Wiggins, and you're not getting the juice
Yeah.
that you're getting on the
Yeah,
book. So you're
man.
taking a little bit away from yourself. And if this was a 24.5, chances are we projected for an under. And while Wiggins has been really consistent, they bumped up his points prop. And the other one they bumped up that we talked about last time was Bob Williams, right? We talked about Bob Williams and Wiggins last time they both hit. Both went up by a point. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know, right? I think Wiggins, if you were to take one, I don't mind the points, rebounds, and assists. The issue for me is that we may see a bit more of Otto Porter. He's been a guy who's been stifling Wiggins' rebounds when he's been out. Wiggins has been great for rebounding. But in this series, it's been hard to come by. Bob Williams had 10 rebounds last game. We saw Jaylen Brown get heavily involved. Marcus Smart heavily involved on the defensive end. The Celtics are making a conscious effort to rebound, and it's taking away from what we saw from Wiggins against Dallas, where he was getting a bunch of offensive rebounds. So again, I think it's a good number. I think that Spari's right. He's got a good shot. He's been very consistent, but I think you have to understand the risk with taking Wiggins and knowing that the points are up. The books line has him a little bit lower. I don't love it overall. And I think I would still target the points because we know that Golden State is desperate and they're going to have to shoot. Like I said, I talked about the 3-point prop for Wiggins. I think the points are still in play at 16.5. That's the line that I expected it to be. We got the gift of 15.5 last time. But I'm iffy on it, Ray. I know that it's projected high, but how do you feel about it? Do you think that it's got a shot? Because my philosophy, if I'm talking about game script, I think this is the game that we see another good one from Jordan Poole. I think if Poole doesn't play well, then that could be the end of, not the end of Golden State, but I think that he needs to play well for them to win. We saw the only game they won, he had a massive third quarter and fourth quarter, scored 17 points. When he doesn't do that, they're losing by 15 points, 20 points. And so I think we may get that, the splash amigos, as I like to call them, in the game a little bit more, chucking a ton of threes, like you're saying, and Poole is kind of the X factor for me in this one, which may see a little bit less Looney, a little bit less Bob Williams. That's why I'm not targeting those guys overall. But I think that Poole is a great option. You're pulling up Robert Williams, right? Because you got Robert Williams' points, right? Going
Yeah,
over again.
the books has it at 7.5, and on PrizePicks he's at 6.5. So
yeah,
this
it's
is
those home splits, man. The home splits look good, but you got to get an extra bucket. He's not going to get 7. He's getting 6 or he's getting 8. And he had 8 last game, to be fair. But, he's going to get it with, and I think even with that 8, it was a late offensive rebound putback that he got to get to 8.
Yeah.
The 5.5 was good, but he's got to get to 8 more than likely. I don't see him getting a ton of free throws to where he can get there. That's why I just wanted to mention it because we did talk about it last time. And I don't know how you feel about Draymond at 7 points, but I think it's another one that he has to have a better game. Like, he can't play as badly as he did last game. But again, is it going to be scoring, or will it be in the assist department? Will it be rebounding, getting steals?
The model likes his over points. We've got him projected at 8.4, but I mean, again, no wiggle room, right? I think here's where we're at right now, and Fantasy Score is not currently available. I want to check to see what Horford's Fantasy Score is. But like, this is one where I think PrizePicks is trying to get that money back, and there's a lot that I just don't want to touch. I like Tatum over 12.5 rebounds and assists. I think this is a good bet. I like Curry over 4.5 threes. I also think that's a good bet, and I still like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum 3-point numbers, Jay. But other than that, there's not a ton that I feel confident in, man. I know Marcus Smart under 2.5 turnovers. I saw that pop up some places. I'm not doing that. He's got 5 in back-to-back games, right? He's averaging 2.5 turnovers. I'm with you with Jordan Poole having to score, block shots. Bob Williams at 2. He had 4
He looks
last
good,
game.
man. He looks good. And the other one that we talked about off air before we got on here was Kevon Looney's assists, right?
Wait a minute.
On PrizePicks.
But here's my thing, Jay. The PrizePicks is giving it to us at 2. The book line is 1.5, and it's minus 205 at 1.5. I mean, he's hit.
Yeah,
look at this.
Because he hits 2 all the time, right? But is he
2.
going to get 3? Is he going to hit 3? That's the real question. He's hit 3. He's hit 3 in 2 of the 3 games this series, right? Which is pretty solid. And then if you want to go back to Looney too, Looney's assist was another number that we did like because he's been hitting it. His projected line on PrizePicks is only 2, and he's pushed or better in every game this series, including the last game against Dallas. So if you want to take another one where, again, won't take a lot to get there, he's been hitting it pretty consistently. He's been pretty good. I think he's going to play a decent amount, but again, you only need 2 to push, and he's pushed or better in 9 of his last 10 games.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty solid if you want to just take a bet where he's probably going to push and he's got a good shot of going over. I don't hate it overall for Kevon Looney or that Bob Williams blocks bet. I think both are in play for sure.
Oh, man. Rough night. Rough night. We're not going to recommend things that we wouldn't play. I just would say tread lightly tonight. Tatum over 12.5 rebounds and assists. Curry over 4.5 threes. Bob Williams points. Bob Williams blocks. The 3-pointers for Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Obviously, the taco at Tatum over 0.5 point. Maybe this is one we just kind of watch. We watch this one play out, get it back to Golden State, and see what it do from there. So there goes our process. There goes the model. We showed some data. I'll just say this. It's data-driven. If you tail, give PrizePicks hell. And if we fail, don't bail. But those are the plays that we're looking at tonight. Enjoy the game. Good luck. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow. We out. Peace.